Hi everybody, it's Jenna from Jenna Stitches. It is Tuesday, December 6th, I believe, and I got an ice yarns order. I know I said in my weekly progress video from Sunday that I was going to, try to do a stitch your stash type thing in 2023, but it is not 2023 yet. And I ordered all this before I said that. And there is a specific reason for this order. It's not just because I wanted more yarn. And I'll talk about that as I go through it all. But I did get an ice yarns order. Once I show all the yarn, I'll kind of explain my thought process behind ice yarns, because I know a lot of people have different concerns and think that shipping is really high, which it is, but if you think about it the way I do, and I know Crystal from Bag O' Day has explained it this way before too, it really makes it a lot more reasonable when you think about the big picture. So I'll explain that all when I'm done showing it. But I'm not going to count it all. I think there was like 40 skeins. I might be wrong, but somewhere around there. And again, there's all, except for maybe one thing, I have projects in mind that I'm going to be making with this yarn at some point. So again, that's kind of why I can justify doing it, is because I know exactly what I want to make with all this, except for one thing, which I know what I will make with that one thing. I just don't know the pattern yet, but I don't know where to start. I guess I'll just start with the reason why I ordered this. So I think we can have a general feeling that this is like everybody's favorite yarn from ice. This is the Picasso Rainbow. And if you're not familiar with their website or anything, if you type in this number, which is 64626, it will take you straight to this yarn. There are 4 different rainbow colorways for the Picasso yarn. This one personally is my favorite. It's the more pastel-y one, but there's no way to differ between them with their name. It's just, they're all Picasso Rainbow, so you just kind of got to look at the picture. And this has been out of stock for a long time, at least as far as I know. I don't go on Ice's website too much at all, but I know every time I've checked it in like the last year or so, it's been out of stock. And I got an email, which I don't even know why I got it, but I got an email saying it was in stock the other day. And that's kind of what triggered me to go to the website and look at things, is because I have been using the one skein I had left over from my previous order to make stuff out of. I made my hat that I showed you previously and I was wearing in some of my pictures. And I feel like I made something else with it, but I can't remember. And I still do have a little bit of this skein left. But I absolutely love this. It's great to work with. It works up very nicely. It's gorgeous when it's worked up. So I grabbed another pack, and my original thought was to make the granny spiral, or the spiral granny blanket from Krista at the Secret Yarnery, because I did originally buy a pack a couple years ago. Actually back when COVID hit is the first time I made an ice yarns order, and I had ordered this, my very first ice yarns order, in anticipation to make myself the spiral granny blanket, and I actually ended up making it for someone else instead, and I never really got to make myself one. So that was my original thought. But now I keep looking at the, oh, I just forgot the name of it, the something lantern motif that Crystal from Bag O' Day just came out with, and she used black yarn and this colorway, and it's gorgeous. And I was thinking about making a blanket out of that. And then she just released another tutorial, I think yesterday or the day before, using this with white yarn and the other rainbow with some black yarn in a little like granny square. And I was thinking that too, and now I can't decide which one I'm gonna make. But I think I'm leaning more towards her lantern motif and making a blanket out of that eventually. But that's what that is for. And to go along with that, I purchased, I think it's this one, the Baby Bio I didn't give you the specs on that. I'll go back to it in a second. And this number is 73672. And it is just black yarn, but I usually get the Softly Baby, and black is usually the one I go for, you know, black yarn. But they didn't have any black in stock by the time I ordered it, because I had originally put everything in my cart like 3 weeks ago, and I kept going back and forth. And every time I'd go back to the cart, I'd change different yarn out of it. And then I'd be like, do I really want to spend that much money? It's almost Christmas time. And then when I finally went for it, the Softly Baby was out of stock. So I got two different blacks. This is one of them. So this is Baby Bio. It is a lightweight number 3, which I do agree with. It's actually a little bit thicker of a lightweight number 3. 100 grams, 265 meters, so about 270 yards. And it's a 100% antibacterial acrylic. I've never used a yarn like this before, being antibacterial acrylic, but it's very nice feeling. And I'm sure it will work up really nice. So I got that to go along with the Picasso so that I can make one of those 3 patterns. And going back to the specs on the Picasso yarn, I actually didn't open some of these yet. So sorry if you don't like the crinkling. I know some people love it, some people don't. So there it is out of the package. And it is considered a medium number 4, which I would actually probably say it's a lightweight number 3. That's why I got a number 3 to go with it. And it is 44% acrylic, 56% polyester, and there's 115 meters in a 50-gram ball, so about 120 yards. Very, very soft. If you've never used it before, and again, I'm going to explain the breakdown for shipping when I'm done. And if you ever do get a chance to order, I would definitely try to order the Picasso. I actually made, like I said, a blanket for somebody else out of this. And I made the spiral granny blanket for my husband using the black and the blue, green, silverish Picasso too, and it came out great. So really love that yarn. The next thing I got, and I don't remember why I got this. I mean, I kind of do. I think I was going to make another Grafgan using this. But this is Anti-Pilling Baby, and the number is 72785. There is no color names on these, but I believe it was neon pink. It does show a lot more neon on their website than it does in person, but I'm still okay with it. So this is Anti-Pilling Baby. A lightweight number 3, which again, I do agree with. And it is 100% anti-pilling acrylic, 100 grams, 250 meters. And I think that would be probably around 260 yards, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And then the next 2 I'm not going to take out of the packages at all because they are the same type of yarn, just in black. So they are Anti-Pilling Baby. The number for this is 71787, and it is just black. And I got 2 packs of the Anti-Pilling Baby. Never used this either, but it does feel really, really nice. I figure you can't really go wrong with anti-pilling yarn. So, next thing I got is this very beautiful cake, and the label is ripped. I noticed, I think it was Angela from My Precious Yarnery got one of these, and her label was ripped too. I don't know if maybe it's just this yarn. But this is Cake Soft Touch. I'm just going to take the label off. So that is how it looks. It is very nice, very squishy. The number is 77477, and it is called Cake Soft Touch. And the specs for this, it is a fine number 1, which I definitely do agree with. It's very similar to all the other cakes that you can get from like Hobie and things like that. 250 grams, 900 meters. So probably 910, 15 yards. I could be completely off with my yardage. So don't take my word for it. And it is a 100% premium micro acrylic. I'm not exactly sure what micro acrylic means, but I saw it on a lot of their yarns. It feels very similar to an anti-pilling acrylic where it's got that like sheen to it, or I would say maybe Karen Simply Soft. I've never actually used Karen Simply Soft, but it does have that sheen to it that kind of reminds me of that. It's really interesting looking. I wouldn't think, you can't see it on camera like I can in person, but I wouldn't think this was 100% acrylic at all. It looks definitely like a cotton almost, mercerized cotton, but it is 100% micro acrylic. So I'll probably make a shawl or something out of that. And then the last thing I got was another reason that I made this order. I did originally go on, I keep dropping everything. I did originally go on to look for the Picasso yarn. That was the reason for even going to Ice Yarns and looking. But then I saw that they had some new cake yarns that are identical to Lion Brand Mandala. And you can go in a couple different categories. There is their Cakes DK, and with the Cakes DK, they had almost every, if not all, colorways of Lion Brand Mandala. And then some I've never even seen before, so I don't know if they made their own colorways or if maybe they were discontinued mandalas. But they do have all the colorways. Like the Lion Brand mandalas and the colorway Sprite is my favorite mandala I've ever seen. This new one I got might be favorite over that one now. But Sprite is discontinued by Lion Brand now. So they have it on Ice Yarns. And like they have Nifflers. They have one that matches pretty much all of them. So I grabbed two different colorways of the Cakes DK. One of the colorways I grabbed is a colorway I've never seen in a mandala, and then the other one matches one of the mandala colorways. There is also Cakes Wool or Cakes DK Wool. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. But that has some of the mandala bonus colorways in a smaller cake form. So like the Meowth that everybody loves, that is a bonus bundle, they have that colorway in their Cakes Wool. And then there's a third one, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I want to say it's Cakes Baby, but I don't think it is. But it matches the Mandala Baby line. They have the Diagon Alley one. They have the Acre Woods. Almost all the colorways are there. So some of these, again, Lion Brand isn't making anymore, and I was able to get them on Ice Yarns. Well, I didn't get them yet. I do plan on making another order at some point and getting some of the Sprite colorway, because again, that one's my all-time favorite, and Lion Brand doesn't make it anymore. There's also one that looks very similar to it that I don't think is a Lion Brand colorway, but I wanted to try that one too. And I originally had a pack of each in my cart, and then I was moving stuff around to, you know, make it more reasonably priced, and I ended up taking those out. And I wish I didn't, but again, it took me like 3 weeks to even make the order, so I'm surprised I ever did push them in. I'm very, I wouldn't say frugal, but at the same time, I don't like spending money. And I can walk into Michael's 50 times. If they don't have anything I want, I'm not going to buy anything. So even though, like, I'm not frugal, I kind of am. I don't know how to explain it. I don't like spending money. Though I don't really have an issue spending money, so it's just really hard to explain. But I got 3 of this colorway, and this is the one I've never seen in a Lion Brand Mandala before, but I thought it was gorgeous. And this is Cakes DK. The number is 77681. And it says Cakes DK Purple Pink. There's a couple more colors in there than that. Let me take it out. One of these is open. No, I guess not. So I got 3 packs. And with ice yarns, you do have to order by pack. You can't order just one skein. So each pack came with 2. I got 3 altogether. Because again, they do have exact specs of the Lion Brand Mandalas. And I do plan on making, I'm sorry if that's loud, Hooked on Sunshine blanket with these. And I know I need 6 to make one a good size. I've made some with 8. I've made some with 12. That one was huge. But I know 6 makes like a really good size lap blanket for Hooked on Sunshine. And I just love making the Hooked on Sunshine blankets. And I know that's what I'm going to make with this. So there it is. More in person, I guess, not through the plastic. So it is called Cakes DK. It is a 100% premium acrylic, 150 grams, 540 meters, and it's a lightweight number 3. So it's got this gold color, this peachy color, pink, magenta, this purpley blue, and then this sea foamy green, and I believe it does go into a more like limey green too. So there is those, and again, I got 6 of those. So there is 2, 4, 6. And like that gold's not too appealing, but the rest of the colors in it are. And I'm kind of hoping that with that gold and the rest of the colors, once it's worked up, it's really going to be gorgeous. And then the last thing I got was another Cakes DK. And I know one of these is open. And this is number 61187. It does say just Cakes DK Olive Green. But this one does match one of the Lion Brand colorways. I believe it is Warlock. It's identical to it. So my plan is, and I posted this in a Facebook group, so, and I know I gave a few of those people my channel name, so if you're here from the Facebook group, hi. My plan is to see if I can find the Warlock out in the wild, the actual Lion Brand Warlock, and compare it with this. And do a yarn review comparing the Ice Yarns version with the actual Lion Brand version and seeing if there's any difference. Because what I think we all know is that all the companies use the same yarn, it's just different labels on it. So if you see like this colorway in Lion Brand, it's probably the same exact yarn. It's just this one has an Ice Yarns label on it, that one has a Lion Brand label on it. Same with like Loops and Threads Facet matching identically to the Lion Brand, whatever the equivalent is, or Red Heart Unforgettable. It's all the same yarn, there's just different labels on it. I forgot what I was going to say. So I want to do a comparison and a review. If I can't find this specific colorway in Lion Brand, I'll just use a different mandala, because I have tons of Lion Brand mandala cakes that I can use as a comparison to this. But first impression, it seems identical. It feels identical. I would say it feels more like the Lion Brand baby ones, because they are a little bit rougher than the regular ones, and it doesn't feel too terribly soft. And I know the baby cakes are similar to that, but there it is. So I'm gonna do that at some point, but I also want to make a Hooked on Sunshine blanket out of that too, and I plan on maybe making it for my brother. I did make him I almost said mosaic wrong. That was weird. A mosaic blanket. Back when I first started my channel, I was working on it. And he's had that for a while. But I wanted to make him a Hooked on Sunshine one, and I figured this would be a really good colorway for him. I don't know if he'll like it, to be honest, because he likes blacks and blues, but I didn't want to go with blacks and blues. And Heather, the crochet witch, recently worked on a project using the exact colorway in the Lion brand yarn, and it was gorgeous. And I never found this colorway appealing looking at pictures of it, so to see it worked up, and I really like the way it looks worked up, is what made me go for it. So with all that being said, there is approximately 39 to 41, I can't remember the exact number, skeins of yarn here. Actually, let's get my calculator out. Not to make this video too terribly long, but I want to get accurate. And I don't have an invoice or anything, so my amount of money I spent might not be too right, but 661444448. So 38 balls of yarn. If you guys mind me sharing my total, I'm sorry, but it will be more helpful to explain it if I can share my total. So I spent $126 and some change. If you divide that by 38 skeins of yarn, did I just say 126? 126 and some change divided by 38. $3.15 per skein. Now, when I originally had everything in my cart about 3 weeks ago, it was around 162, I believe. And when I did the math then, I don't remember the number of skeins, but I was able to get it down to like $2 per skein. That is really good deal. Yes, the price of the yarn itself, with my order specifically, the yarn was $62. And then the shipping was $66. So I think that puts it at $128. So it was either $126 or $128, somewhere close to that. But so my shipping was actually more than the yarn itself. But if you take the total price of everything together and divide it by the amount of yarn you're still getting a really, really good deal. $3 and whatever cents I said could be average, depending on what kind of yarn you're getting. But even now, like Red Heart is $4.99 at a lot of places. I love this yarn. You can't get it for less than $4 unless it's their 30% off week. Big Twist is sitting at $3.99, $4 a skein. Those are the only three I can think of off the top of my head. So even thinking that basic acrylic that you can get, Mainstay even, I think is right around $3.99. Where I am, at least. It could be cheaper other places, but your basic acrylic is running more than what I paid for all of these combined together. And they, yes, are all acrylic, but I have antibacterial acrylic, I have anti-pilling acrylic, I have the micro acrylic. So everything I got, with the exception of these, which I don't even think I read you this. Oh, this is a premium acrylic. So everything I got is more than just your standard acrylic, and I spent less altogether for it than I would have if I were to go to Michael's, Joann's, Walmart even, to get this yarn and not have it shipped. And you can't even get some of this yarn at stores like that. That cake yarn, the Cake Soft Touch, the green one, that could run you over $20 on some sites. I spent $3 on it. So if you think about it that way, it's really not as bad as it seems. You obviously do want to try to make a larger order when it comes to ice, because the more you get, the more that price per skein is going to go down. If you make a smaller order, it might not seem as good. So I generally, when I order from ice, do try to make an order over $100 to make it worth the money I'm spending. I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. So really, honestly, not that bad when you think about it that way. And it might be something that, you know, some of us have to save up for. And, you know, I usually do if I have to make an ice yarns order. It has to be something that I saved up for and I'm prepared to order. And sometimes I'll do even bigger than that just to get that price down. But like I said in my other video the other day, I want to be a lot more careful with the yarn I'm buying coming into 2023, because if you've noticed in a couple of my giveaways, there is ice yarns in it, because I got excited the first couple of times I ordered and I picked out some really cool yarn, and now I'll probably never touch it. So that's why, like, all this yarn, I have a specific project in mind, and even if I do change that project, it's still, you know, basic yarn that I'll do stuff with. And I probably won't order from them for a while, and until I do cut down on some of my stash. And if I do, I want to make sure it's stuff that I'm going to use. So that's kind of my tips about ice yarns. Plus, their shipping is phenomenal. You can't beat it. I placed this order last Wednesday, and today's Tuesday. So not even a full week to get to me from Turkey. That is crazy. I mean, you can't even order from anywhere in the US to get it to you that fast. If I ordered from Michael's, Joann's, everything just flew out of my head. Where else do I order from? I don't know. But I mean, 6 days to get to me from Turkey is just amazing. And honestly, I think that's the longest I've ever had to wait for an ice yarn order, was 6 days. So I definitely recommend checking it out sometime. Keep all those things I said in mind, because I know the first time I went on there, even though I already knew about it, that shipping price was like, oh, I'm never paying that. But then once I've watched some other videos and found out, like, if you take the total price and divide it by the amount of yarn you get, it's really a pretty good deal. It made me finally bite the bullet and order from there, and I've never regretted it. Like, they have great shipping. They have a lot of choices of yarn. So that is my ice yarns haul. That's all I got for you. So I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next one. Bye.